Okay, so you've seen me do this quite a few times with different breakers, and I do it with all my breakers. Winnie, we've been going now for maybe 10 minutes, and Winnie has had a little struggle with it, and they all do that. Initially they sort of test it out, they don't know how to respond to the pressure of the bit, but as they go along they learn that if they keep the head lower and that nose tipped in a little, so the nose a little bit more on the vertical, then the pressure of the bit is gone. Now what's interesting, and with a horse like Winnie, and she's quite calm, she's been quite a calm filly. Once we had that breakthrough with her, she's really put her faith and trust in me, which has been really, really good. It's made her quite easy to work with once we got her going and I understood how she ticked. But when I ride Winnie in the Bosal, good girl, I really encourage this posture, this outline that she's showing here, she's demonstrating. So you can see that her poll is not quite level with her wither. When she's relaxed, it's nearly level. Good girl. And she's kind of gone to this quite quickly because it's quite familiar to her from the work we did in the Bosal. And just seeing Winnie's outline now, I would say I'm a lot happier with where she's finding that sweet spot than when we were in the Bosal. So she was good in the Bosal, but here she's really starting to come together. I'm just going to drive her up a little bit. Good girl, good. And you can see she lifts up and she feels that contact from the bit and she comes back down. That's where we want our horses when we do this exercise. We want to see them softening like that. So I'm only asking at the moment for her to flex vertically and lower her poll. So even though she really struggled to get this yesterday in the canter, where she picked up and she softened vertically, but I can see here she's got no tension on those reins and it's really spelling out where she needs to hold her head to stay nice and soft. Just change directions now. This filly very much has one side that's a lot better than the other, so we'll see what she offers up on the other side. Come on. So here you can see she's more upright, so this side's going to need a bit more work. I just keep tapping her on the belly to try and push her out a little. Come on. So quite often they have one side that's better than the other. I would say it's unusual if they don't, and that's what she's exhibiting here, but she is still softening to it. I can still see her letting the slack out on the rein, so she's got a bit of tension there at the moment. And I just push from behind there. Good girl. With a filly like this, who's responding so well to the bridle, she'll probably only have her first day in here. I'll give her a quick reminder tomorrow morning before I jump on her out in the arena and I ride her in the bridle. This process is just to ensure they understand what to do with the pressure on their mouth before I hop on. So basically, it shows me that they can follow a feel. It also shows me that they understand how to soften to that pressure. And if the reason I do it like this on the ground is through this learning process, if they throw themselves around a little bit while they're still learning, keeps me safe. So this way they can sort of figure it out on their own without us interfering. Cool. Okay, so we've just come back to Winnie. I've just shortened those reins up a little bit. Now I want to talk to you about why I've done that, because now she's overbent. And I don't like overbending my horses. However, I've done this intentionally in here just to make sure, it's sort of like a last check to make sure that she actually understands how to soften to the pressure of that bridle. So I want to make sure if she's put in a slightly uncomfortable position, that instead of overreacting and just trying to fight against herself to get out of that, here, all right, we go back the other way. Here she understands that she just needs to soften even more. So yep, It may not be fair and it may not be correct. However, I need her answers to be yes, I can just soften more. Not, I need to get out of this and this is uncomfortable and I don't like it and I'm scared. So that's why I've put her in this bind and I've over bridled her a little bit. I'm not going to drill her on this. I just want to make sure that she has an understanding that if those reins get really short, she just needs to keep softening and softening and softening, not fight, resist and overreact to it. So she's responding really well. I only just started this when we turned the video on. And she's doing exactly what she needs to do. So, like I said, we don't want our horses in this shape. We don't want them going around with their noses nearly touching the ground and over bridled, so behind the vertical. However, I do want to check before I jump on her that she's quite capable of just softening more. So here I've just stepped her up into a canter or a lope, and that's beautiful. What she's offered up there, she's just lifted up lovely. This filly's so balanced. So I'm just going to turn her around, make sure she can do that the other way. These turns are when you'll find they'll really resist and fight against it. She did not. She's understanding this process really well. Good girl. Here I've tied Winnie to the side. Now you can see that outside rein is really loose, so the only contact she's getting, direct contact, is from that inside rein. And Winnie's softening. A lot of horses will do a lot of vertical. They'll just soften even more vertically. They won't actually start to tip their head. But you can see Winnie's starting to tip her nose to the inside here, which is perfect. That's exactly what I want to see. When I step back and take the pressure off her and push that shoulder around, she just follows the feel on that inside rein. Once again, this is an exercise we don't spend a lot of time drilling them on. It's not about that. I don't want to make her neck sore. I don't want to make her back sore. I don't want to make her mouth sore. This is just about doing a bit of a safety check before I climb on her to make sure that she understands how to follow that feel. And to sort of just confirm with her that it's the same as the Bosal. When you feel pressure on that side of your face, coming from that side of your face, you follow it exactly the same as you would in the Bosal. So she's demonstrating this perfectly here. You see her tip her nose in. So where I'm standing, I'm sort of acting like my leg would to sort of keep her shoulder up, belly out, and bend her around my leg. So I'm sort of acting as if when I was sitting in the saddle, I would be my leg. Good girl. So I'm going to take the pressure off, put pressure back on. You can see how she follows that inside rein. It's really important that she can also tip her nose to the side like that and still move her feet forward, okay? And some horses really struggle with the concept to move forward initially, as well as stay bent. They sort of just want to go round and round and round in circles. They're good with following the feel, but they're not good combining that feel, following the feel and moving their feet forward.